Hi everyone, welcome to VSPARKZ. Today we are going to see AWS EC2 Autoscaling feature. We are also going to see a demo on the same. If you like this video, please subscribe to VSPARKZ channel. These are the contents that we are going to see in this demo. We are going to see what is autoscaling and its components. Then we are going to see or discuss about the scaling policies. There are two types of scaling policies: target tracking scaling policy and step scaling policy. At last, we are going to see the demo on the autoscaling part. What is autoscaling? From the name itself, you can identify automatically scaling the resources based on the load is called as autoscaling. We will be creating a virtual or a logical group called Autoscaling Group, where we will specify minimum and maximum number of EC2 instances, so that the autoscaling feature will always ensure to run the minimum number of EC2 instances. Whenever the load increases, based on the policy, it will scale up the instances. It also ensures that the group should not go beyond the maximum specified EC2 limit. Shown below is an example of autoscaling group. Let us see the autoscaling components. Autoscaling group, launch configurations and launch templates are the main components of autoscaling. Autoscaling group is a virtual or logical group that consists of EC2 instances, which we already discussed in the last slide. Launch configurations represents the golden template for the EC2 instance. In other words, we can say launch configurations contains the necessary settings and configurations required to launch an EC2 machine. Launch template is similar to launch configurations, but with more added features. Here is the comparison of launch configuration versus the launch template. You can see versioning is supported in launch templates. You can have a combined purchasing model in the launch templates, I mean the on-demand and the spot models. You can launch a combination of instance types with the use of launch templates. I mean you can launch T2 micro instances along with T2 nano instances together. Launch template will also support advanced features of EC2. Scaling policies. Scaling policies defines the rules and triggers for your autoscaling group to scale out autoscaling. Scaling means reducing, scale out means expanding or increasing. Scaling policy is classified into manual and automatic scaling policy. Automatic scaling policy is further classified into target tracking scaling policy and simple or step scaling policies. With the target tracking scaling policies, you select a metric. I mean you can choose CPU utilization or a network utilization, and you can set a target value. The scaling policy adds or removes capacity as required to keep the metric at or close to the specified target value. With step scaling policies, the scale in or scale out happens in step counts. Let us discuss these scaling policies more detail in the demo. So these are the things that we are going to do in this demo. We are going to create a launch configuration template. In step 2, we are going to create a launch template and check the features with the launch configurations. Step 3, we are going to create an autoscaling group with target tracking scaling policy and we are going to test it. At last, we are going to create an autoscaling group with step scaling policy and we are going to test it. Step 1, we are going to create a launch configuration template. So this is my AWS management console. Just click services, EC2, go to the bottom inventory and you can see launch configurations. Click it. just create a launch configuration. Pick a AMI, choose the instance class which is T2 micro, give a name for your launch configuration, launch-configuration, that's the name that I am giving. The advanced details, you can choose your kernel IDs and your boot scripts. So I am not going to paste any boot scripts here. Then add storage. So my instances will have 8 GB of storage. Give a security group. So I am allowing all the traffic to my autoscaling groups. Just review it. Once reviewed, create your launch configuration. That's it. My launch configuration is created successfully. Now my step 1 is done. We are going to create the launch template and we are going to compare the features of launch templates. Launch configuration is the older one, launch template is the newly released one. So it is advisable to go for launch templates. To understand the difference only, we are creating launch configuration and launch templates as well. Give a name for your launch template. Pick a version ID. Choose a AMI. And instance type. If you want a combination of instances, don't choose it here. Under security groups, you have to paste your security group ID. So just go to your EC2, just pick your security groups. So this security group is attached to the default VPC, that is my VPC ID. Just copy that group ID and paste it here. If you choose it from the drop down, it will choose only your name, group name. Security group ID will not be copied. So that's why I copied from a separate page. Go to the advanced settings. You can see purchasing options, shutdown behavior, termination protection. All these are available in launch templates, but not in launch configurations. So this is more advanced than the launch configuration. That's it. My launch template is created successfully. Now we are proceeding to the third step. So I am going to create an auto-scaling group with target tracking scaling policy and we are going to test it. So before doing that, we need to know what will happen if I set my scaling policy. So in the picture you can see the auto-scaling group with the minimum size, desired capacity and the maximum size. Let us assume that the auto-scaling group, initially it will start with 2 virtual machines and the 2 virtual machines is consuming 2 GHz of CPU utilization. And as per this diagram, I am setting my target value CPU utilization as 0.5. So the average CPU utilization of the machines is 2 GHz. That 2 GHz is the observed value, which is greater than 0.5 GHz. So that is my target scaling value. So now what will happen? The auto-scaling group deploys new machines to bring the observed value and the target value closer. When I say closer, it means the auto-scaling group will create new machines to reduce the load in the older machines. Let us create the auto-scaling group. click create Autoscaling group. If you want to go for launch configuration, you can go. So for this demo, I am going to go for launch templates. Give a group name. So I am giving it as ASG. Start with 2 instances. That is going to be my desired instances. So now my Autoscaling group will start with 2 instances at the beginning. Choose the subnets that you want to launch your machines. Go to advanced details. If you want to attach these machines in your load balancer, use these options. Just click receive traffic from one or more load balancers, and you can add it to the respective classical load balancer or the target groups. So if you want to have a combination of instance type, you can choose these options. You can also have the combination of on-demand instances and Spark instances. You can have the control over it if you configured your launch templates accordingly. So next, configure scaling policies. Remember that we are starting with 2 instances. Just I am noting down in a notepad just for our references. So here first the scaling policy is going to be target tracking scaling policy. For that you have to choose the second option. Here we can choose our minimum and maximum number of instances, that is going to be 1 and 4 respectively. So my minimum instances for this group is going to be 1 and the maximum instances for this instance is going to be 4. So it will always run 1 instances and it will not go beyond 4. That is my maximum number of instances. And we already noted down our desired number of instances. Here the metric type what I am choosing is average CPU utilization. The target value what I am choosing is 0.0001. For the demo purpose only we are choosing this target value since we need to trigger the scaling policy. If you want to add any notification, you can add it here. The next step, we are going to add the tags. So I am giving the key as policy and the value as target. Just review your Autoscaling group and just say create. Now we have successfully created our Autoscaling group. Now my desired value of the machines is going to be 2. So the Autoscaling group will start 2 machines right now. So it will take some time, so we have to wait for a while. So we will resume the video once the machines are launched. So now you can see I have 2 instances got launched. So this is going to be my desired value. And you can see the tags called policy, target, just make it visible. After some time, our scaling policy will get triggered. For that, I think we have to wait for at least 5 minutes, because the monitoring for our machines is going to be 5 minutes. So please wait for the target scaling policy comes into effect. We will resume the video once this is done. See, we have resumed the video. Now you can see it has launched 4 instances. Abruptly it has increased to 4 instances from 2. So this is because it has to match the utilization or the observed value closer to the target value. Now we will try to terminate one machine. We will see what is happening. Now this autoscaling group will deploy one more machine to satisfy the terminated machine. Again, this will take some time. We have to wait for a while. Now we have resumed the video. You can see it is maintaining the 4 machines. So if you want to terminate these machines, you have to delete the autoscaling group. Deleting this autoscaling group will delete all the machines that is running in this autoscaling group. Now you can see all the machines will be going to terminated state. Now our target tracking scaling policy is over. Now we are going to do the same with the step scaling policy. As per this diagram, with the step scaling policy, whenever my average CPU utilization of the instances is greater than or equal to 0.1%, it will add one instance to the autoscaling group. This is called as increasing step. Whenever my average CPU utilization of the instances is lesser than 0.1%, it will remove one instance to the autoscaling group. This combination is one step. You can also add multiple steps if you want. If you see in target tracking scaling policy, the autoscaling group will increase the instances abruptly to the target value. But whereas in the step scaling policy, the instances will be increased in a step-by-step manner. In the first step, it will increase one instance. In the second step, it will increase another instance, and so on. Let us see the demo for step scaling policy. Just go to your management console. Just again click create autoscaling group with launch templates. Do whatever configurations that is necessary. Give a group name. Now try to give a new name. So I am giving it as ASG-step. Start with 2 instances as per the diagram. Select your subnets. Go to advanced details. If you want to attach these machines to the load balancers, you can do it there. Configure scaling policies. choose the second one. Now my minimum instance is 1, the maximum instance is 4. Now instead of target tracking scaling policy, use the step scaling policy. So for increasing group size, you create an alarm. So don't send any notifications. If you have an SNS topic, you can send it obviously. Now you can see that value is in percentage. So I'm adding only one step. If you want to add multiple steps, you can do that. So I'll give you an example here. So whenever your CPU utilization is greater than 0.0001% to 10, it will add one instance. Whenever your CPU utilization is greater than 10 to infinity, it will add 2 instances. That is the meaning. Similarly, you can add the decreasing step count as well. So I'm adding it as whenever my CPU utilization is lesser than 0.00015%, I am going to decrease one instance. So I'm adding only one step here. If you want to add more steps, you can do that. Now coming to tags, if you want to add tags, you do that. So for this demo, I am adding the tag as policy and the value as step. Review at last and create the autoscaling group. Now it is successfully created. Now you can see the desired value is 2. So it will launch 2 instances in the beginning. So with my autoscaling group, we have got 2 instances in the beginning. So now wait for a while for your steps scaling policy comes into effect. So as per our configuration, the autoscaling group will add 1 instances to the autoscaling group for the first monitoring cycle. So now you can see the desired value got changed to 3. Now the autoscaling will add one more instance to our autoscaling group. Now the group size will get changed to 3. For the next monitoring cycle, autoscaling will add one more instance to the autoscaling group because our increasing step scaling policy would have been triggered. So we have to wait for a while for the next monitoring cycle. We have to wait for almost 5 minutes. So we'll resume the video after some time. Now I have resumed the video. Now you can see the desired value got changed to 4. So now your autoscaling will increase one more count to the autoscaling group. That's it. A new machine is getting launched. So this is what had happened. ASG deploys new machines based on the step counts. In our case, the increasing step count policy got triggered. So at last you have to clean your lab once your demos are completed. That's it. This is a summary of our demo. We have seen what is autoscaling, what are the components of autoscaling. We have seen the different scaling policies, and at last we have seen a demo for the autoscaling. If you like this video, please subscribe to VSPARKZ channel. Thank you from VSPARKZ. Thank you for spending your precious time in seeing this video. Have a good day.